It's a really exciting all-around team win. Like Pop said, a little rough around the edges right now, a little raw, emotional, but that's what you guys come to us for, right?
That's
We're
right.
not. This ain't Adam Schefter. We don't want to be Adam Schefter. Pop, man, we did it. We
Well,
did it.
come on, Elizabeth.
How's the whole ticker? How's the whole ticker? Are you still
Like Fred Sanford.
Oh man. Are you still did somebody come in to get you? Are you off the
I don't
raft?
know, man. I think I'm still out on that raft.
Oh man. What a game, man. What a game. Frankly, it's just this is 2 weeks in a row now. We pull the win out. We find a way to win. 2-0 for the first time since 2011. Sam Howell 3-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Josh
That's a
Harris
good point.
2-0 as an owner of the Commanders. And if we're counting preseason, 5-0. So it's exciting. It's exciting,
Not
man.
as important. Not as important, but pretty cool too. My
Yep.
FanDuel account's jingling a little bit today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maybe
We'll get
to
into that
in
later.
in the recap.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But man, what a game. And I gotta tell you, Pop, I was down in the dumps.
Me too.
It was a rough morning betting wise. I had the day lined up so beautifully. I was gonna wake up, I was gonna bet a lot on the first 1 p.m. slot, just chill, and then I was gonna get fired up for the Commanders game. And everything that could have gone wrong in that 1 p.m. slot went wrong for me. Just terrible across the board. We come out down 21-3. I mean, I was ready to wrap the whole thing up. And then all of a sudden, I was standing up going to the bathroom, and I come back from the bathroom, and I watch Jamin Davis strip sack, and I go, holy crap, we got life. We
So
go down here and
can I
score.
stop you for a minute?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, go ahead. Keep rolling.
You're going to do the thing where I'm on topic, and you're going to tell me that I was off topic 90 seconds
No, you're
ago?
on topic. You're doing
I'm setting
great.
up the scene here.
I think it would be good if maybe we started with we won 35-33 in a thrilling win.
Right.
I assume most people know that.
35.
I'm sorry, I killed your vibe.
Win.
I killed your vibe.
I was gonna say. I assume if you're clicking on to watch our post game analysis of the game, you probably watched the game.
Probably know that already.
In case,
we'll flash it on the screen.
You know what? If we are the breaking news outlet that you get all your information from, we appreciate you. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe.
My bad. Keep rolling.
Anyways, Jamin Davis gets that strip sack, and I text you, and I text the HTTR group chat that I'm in, and I say, we have life. We have life. Let's score. And I swear, from that moment until the end of the game, I did not sit down. I paced.
You know what happened after that?
In this bedroom, this 100 square foot bedroom, I paced.
But you know what happened after that? At that point, Jamin Davis happened. The turning point of that game was that Jamin Davis strip. I think it was a sack. But
that's what
the fumble, forced
said.
fumble.
The Jamin Davis strip sack. That was when I said we had life.
That was it.
You know, an incredible comeback. That stupid Hail Mary, we'll call it what it is, a stupid, complete fluke
play.
Lucky play at the end makes it look closer than what it is. We kicked their butts. We wiped the floor with that team for 3 quarters. For 3 quarters.
After starting 21-3, we did. We dominated that team.
For 3 quarters. We wiped the floor with that team. And even look at how
it was an emotionally incredible at the end there, and I gotta admit it took a bit of the joy away for a few minutes. I got it back now, but for a few minutes took the joy away when you step back from it and you realize that was just a lucky play. I mean, that's all that was. I don't know. You could, if you want to break it down and argue about it and say we should have done better on defense to knock that ball down. I mean, if I'm disappointed about anything in this game, I'm a little disappointed about the defense because I feel like even that slow start, although you could say it was in all three phases, and certainly, botch snap, missed field goal doesn't help. I felt like the offense was moving the ball. The offense was getting some good things done, just wasn't finishing, which isn't great. But our defense was just getting shredded
Yeah.
at the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
Totally shredded.
It's a
But I don't want to. I don't want to
side-to-side is
spend
an
much
issue.
time on negativity because I think it's just a hell of a win, and
Yeah.
I'm super happy about it. And it showed me a lot about this team. But oh my god, that was a really poor
Yeah.
defensive performance. And
100%. And
not great in the second half either, right? They really weren't able to close this team out.
they gave
They
up
weren't
6
able to do that.
they gave up 6 points in the second half, Dad. I got to
You got to
disagree with you
count the
on
Hail
that.
Mary,
I
son.
got to disagree with you on that. They gave up 6 points. They gave up 6 meaningful points in the second half. Montez Sweat, Deron Payne. I mean, Deron Payne had one drive where he comes out, sack, tackle for loss, deflected pass, 3 and out.
I'm
That's
just
like
saying
Aaron
I don't
Donald.
want to argue with you about something that's negative. They
We
didn't finish
won.
that game.
I
They
disagree.
didn't
I
finish
disagree
that
with you on
game,
that.
and to me, that was a poor defensive performance overall. They had moments, they had moments. End of the first half, beginning of the second half, they played really well, but end to end, because they gave up that long drive to give them a field goal to give them a chance, right? So to me, like, they didn't finish, and that was a poor defensive performance. I'll
It
stick
is
by that.
all right.
But
Let us
the
know what you
offense,
guys
let's
think in the
flip.
comments. We'll agree to disagree on that. We're
We can
moving on.
agree to disagree. I don't know
I
how
don't
you
agree
call
with
it
you.
different than that.
I don't agree with you at all. We'll be here for 25 minutes. We're not trying to do that. Let us know
No,
in the
we want
comments what
to
you guys
flip
think.
it. We want to
Let's move
flip it.
on. Let's keep it positive, right?
35 points by the offense.
Have
It
not
could have
seen
been. It could have been a lot more. And what a
we
comeback!
we have not seen that since Carson Wentz week 1 against Jacksonville. That's how long it's been since we've seen scoring like
Could
that,
you
since
ask
we've
for a
seen
better
offense like that.
performance from Sam Howell at this stage in his career? Could you
Brilliant.
possibly ask for a better performance? I thought he was playing well. I was texting you even when we were down 21-3. I thought he was playing well. Maybe I'm
Yeah, it wasn't on
delusional, but
him. No, I
I
was
thought he was playing
100% with
well.
you.
And then all of a sudden, he's just, I mean, that throw at the end of the first half to your boy Bates,
Yeah.
who actually caught it, which was nice.
Miracle. I forgot that guy had hands.
What a throw! Like
Unbelievable.
that was a dime. It was like, it wasn't like he was running completely wide open. That was the only spot that ball was going to be completed, and that was huge to get those 3 points at the end of the half.
Let me give you some stats here, if I may, on Sam Howell today.
Please. We're all over the shop, people. You could feel the emotions minutes after the game. I'm sure you felt the same way.
Up.
Sorry, we're not polished
up.
today, but we're juiced up.
We're in there. It's all good. 27 to 39, 69% completion, 299 yards, 7.7 average per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Did have that fumble, which was recovered by the offense, thankfully. 108.8 passer rating.
You know what we're seeing from Eric Bieniemy and this offense? You got to give them credit, Sam Howell and everybody else, the chance to execute it. We're seeing a modern day offense. Now, you and I are stuck a little bit, or I'm stuck a little bit in that old school, man, we need more balance, got to run the ball more. I'll mention that, but this is a modern day offense, and EB's like, we're going to run it. We're going to run it this way. They did make some really good plays in the running game as well.
Yeah, which allowed the pass.
My God, when's the last time we saw an offensive performance like that? That's exciting.
That throw to Terry McLaurin.
Oh, and a catch.
That is a all whatever. Just pick a noun. Throw. I mean, that is as good as it gets in the National Football League at the highest level. That throw, the catch, the anticipation to go put a 50-50 ball up there for your guy You know he can get it. You heard
It
the
wasn't a
commentator said,
50-50.
I didn't think it was
It
50-50, but
was not 50-50. It
there was a
was a
defender
beautiful
there.
throw.
The window was unbelievable that he fit it in, and the
For sure.
timing was fantastic. But to go put a ball up there for your playmaker and say, make a play. And in the way that he did that was unbelievable. And you heard the commentary say after that Terry told one of the interviewers that he was talking to Sam, and he told him, put the ball up there for me. I will show you what I'm going to do, and you can trust me, and we can take the top
that
off
was
of
great.
this thing. We can take the top off of this thing. And I
That
think
was
if you
great.
can get that from Terry and from Sam on a consistent basis, being able to go downfield is something that this team hasn't been able to do consistently in feels like a decade. And being able to do that is going to open up the offense a ton. I think Bieniemy, as much as we gave him flack for the slow start, which I think is, somewhat deserved, he made incredible adjustments in the way he was attacking the run game. We saw a lot more delayed handoffs. We saw a lot more RPOs, which allows the offensive line that's a little bit slower. It allows them time to open up those lanes. And then we saw Brian Robinson start taking off. I mean, he was averaging like 2 and change yards per carry. And then all of a sudden, he finishes the game with what was he was crazy
I
yards
think
per
it's
carry average.
5.7,
Yeah,
5.7, something like that.
yeah, and that's all on Bieniemy making those adjustments and changing the way
Well, you
we
got to
were
give
attacking the
B-Rob a little
run.
credit.
B-Rob was hitting the holes. He's getting downhill, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
he was the one making the plays, but Bieniemy making the adjustments there started. You saw we're going to the quick pass game, taking stuff underneath, getting Howell in rhythm late, keeping your young quarterback fresh, keeping him moving. I mean, it was
4.8
unbelievable.
4.8 yards per carry for B-Bob. 18 carries, 87 yards.
Right.
2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, which was big.
Yeah.
He had a phenomenal game. I thought AG played really well too.
AG, when
He
he
had
got
some
his
big
name
plays in
called,
there. That one run he had
yeah.
where he got stopped in the backfield and he ran around. Some really good plays in the pass game. So really good production out of the running backs today.
Well, we've talked about it repeatedly with AG, right? Last year, in terms of just his mindset. And dude's a real class act. You could tell a little bit in the doghouse today for the fumble last year, not getting his number called very much. But every time he got his number called, he proved why he should get his number called. He performed. He played well. So hats off to him. I know that can be a tricky situation to navigate, and he did it. He played great. Curtis
Sam made some
Samuel,
really nice plays with his legs too. I mean,
yeah,
that one first down run was. I didn't know
fantastic.
he had that kind of speed, honestly.
No, and the elusiveness too. I mean, he made
Yeah,
a couple guys miss, made a few cuts.
and that
I
was a
was
huge play.
I was blown away by Howell today. I have to be completely honest. And even in the worst of the worst, I'm thinking we're tanking. And I was sending pictures of Shadur Sanders to my friends kind of as a joke. And even as I'm doing it, I'm feeling guilty because I'm going, I really think this Howell guy can play though. He looks good. He still looks good, even though we're down 21-3. And he proved us all right. He came along. I think defensively, the line finally started to eat in the second half. And overall, just super
You were
exciting.
going to say something about
Super
Curtis
exciting stuff to
Samuel.
see there. Curtis Samuel had that great run on the jet sweep, had a couple
Yeah,
nice catches, had a couple great blocks downfield.
that's big.
Great blocks downfield. He is a little dude. Curtis Samuel is not a big guy. He's known as a speedy, shifty, small guy, and he plays with a lot of heart. Big blocks downfield, allowing for Brian Robinson to get past that second level on those runs. Just really it's a really exciting all-around team win. Like Pop said, a little rough around the edges right now, a little raw, emotional, but that's what you guys come to us for, right?
That's
We're
right.
not. This ain't Adam Schefter. We don't want to be Adam Schefter.
Right, we were having an argument about the defense start the pod. You know, you gotta love it. But that's what we do.
This is passion. This is pure passion and energy from this team. And
I believe in this
great
defense.
win.
I think it's a heck of a defense. I think it was a poor performance. I'm going to stick by that. But I think if you can get away with that, the difference is if our defense plays like that last year, we got no shot at winning this game. We give up 33 points. And granted, it was a fluke play, but you allowed them to get in position to make that play, which is the problem. But the fact that we were able to put up 35 points, like I said, it could have easily been more. Kind of,
Yeah.
Rightfully so, try to run clock at the end.
Yeah.
It's nothing but, from my perspective, nothing but positive vibes at this point with this
Gotta
win.
be.
Especially these, first time we're 2-0 since 2011. Let that sink in.
Unreal.
Let that sink in. I
Unreal.
don't know when
Very
the last
exciting.
time we've put up 35 points offensively. I don't have that stat, but it wasn't last year.
Yeah.
Wasn't last year.
Yeah.
So, overall, just a great win. It's just a great win. There's no way to argue.
100%.
If anybody's out there arguing that this was not a great win, come on. I
100%.
don't want to question anybody's fandom because you all have a right to your opinion, but I got to question a little bit.
A
If
little
you're
bit,
saying
just a
that.
little bit, a little
If you're
bit. And
saying that.
just one quick point before we pivot to our awards here. You say if we're in this position last year, we don't win. And I would like to remind you all, week 2 against Detroit last year, we were down 22-0 in the first half. And we just got smoked that game. The team rolled over and
Fair.
died. Team rolled over and died against a much worse Detroit Lions team at the time. Rolled over and died. No ability to adjust offensively. No excitement in the locker room. No reason to play for the guy next to you. Complete mess. This year could not be more different, and I could not be more proud to have Washington on my jersey every Sunday watching this team. This is super,
This is why.
super
This is
exciting.
why we needed the young generation in this podcast, because I could barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning, much less who we played in the second game last year. Fantastic pull, son. Fantastic pull.
I had to have mentioned that we scored 36 against Jacksonville in week 1 of last year 5 times, and you go, well, when was the last time we scored 35? I need a
Offensively,
stats guy.
did the defense put up points in that game?
I don't believe so, no.
Somebody let me down then. I was going off
Wentz,
Twitter. Somebody said we didn't do it all last year.
Wentz had 4 touchdowns in that game. He had 4
My
touchdowns, 2
bad.
interceptions.
My bad. We didn't do it almost all of last year.
Almost all of last year. After that, it was a lot of 19-17 wins. But you guys saw
I read it on Twitter. Somebody said we didn't do it all last year.
Hey,
so.
all I know, you read it on Twitter, it's true.
It's got to be true.
One thing I know.
It's got to be true.
There is
all right, come on. Let's go. Let's give some awards out.
Let's give some awards
Should we talk about a little fight on the awards? I got to say it. Dominic wanted to give the Sauce Award, our MVP, to Deron Payne. And I'm like, look, Payne played a good game, a really good game. He's going to get a helmet sticker. But how do you give it to somebody on the defense in this game? After B-Rob's performance, after Sam Howell's performance, you still on Deron Payne?
I stand by it.
The MVP?
I think we're talking individual.
In the comments, people. I'm not going to argue with him. He loves him some Deron Payne. I love that about my son. He loves him some 94. But a little too much.
We're talking individual performances. I gotta give.
Where was he?
I think
during those first 3 scores.
I think his is.
That's what I want to know.
With Terry and Emmanuel Forbes, he didn't blow the coverage to Mims. He didn't give up a 60-yard punt return.
Pressure wasn't there quite as it got dialed up later.
They were running side to side. He's an
love Deron Payne, but in a game like this, that almost 300 yards from Sam Howell, B-Rob's performance was just amazing. I think we're going to go. I'm tipping my hat, but who's got our Sauce Award? So
I mean, you just let the people know right there. Sam Howell and Brian Robinson. That's who's
we're going with a tie, maybe a little bit of a cop out.
Breaking out of co-sauce. My vote was we give it to Sam. Pop said we got to give it to B-Rob. Pop said you want to do co. I said, yeah, why not? We'll be amicable.
I was going to let you break the tie since I broke your heart about Deron Payne.
We won. We're happy. Again, read the Sam stats down earlier in the pod, but I mean, 108 passer rating. How you down? Not too bad in his third NFL start. And then and against Pat Surtain, for that matter. In terms of Brian Robinson, great day. You had said like 18 carries for 87 yards, something like that, 2 touchdowns. Just a phenomenal day. Phenomenal day for B-Rob. And the 2-point conversion, the really gritty runs there. You know, B-Rob is a guy that I've criticized. I've been a big fan of, but this season I've kind of been not so high on. I've been starting to believe that maybe he really is just that 3 yards in a cloud of dust guy. But I don't know. Bieniemy, the former running back and running backs coach, Eric Bieniemy, he found something. He found something for the kid. And since he found it, you saw a completely different run game there. So I gotta tip my cap to
Getting involved in the
Bieniemy,
pass game a
Brian
little bit too,
Robinson.
which is nice to
Yep.
see.
If we can run the ball like that, sky's the limit for this offense. If we can run the ball and we can take the top off like we were doing with the deep ball, which tips our hat to our first helmet sticker, got to be Terry McLaurin, right? Led the team in receptions. That's what you want to see. Not a monster day from him in terms of numbers, but in terms of impact on the game, that touchdown pass to McLaurin was really when I felt like we can and
Phenomenal.
we will win this game. That's really what I
Phenomenal.
felt when you get that touchdown. Just phenomenal. Great touchdown catch there. Way to track the ball. And like the whole thing I'm watching, does he remain control to the ground? The ball didn't move. Not even
No,
like
there was no
just
doubt
adjusted.
about
It
it.
didn't move.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You can't, that guy is the class of the NFL. There's a reason I wear his jersey every Sunday. You can't doubt that guy. Unbelievable. Another guy whose jersey is next up for me is Deron Payne. He might be my favorite player on the team that's name is not Terry McLaurin. Although Sam Howell, I've just been hurt too many times. I've been hurt too many times, but he's starting to creep in there, man. He's
No
starting to
doubt
creep
about
in
it.
there. Deron Payne is excellent, excellent
He's
player. I
pretty good
mean,
at football.
he is pretty good at football. That, like I said, that key drive, we got them all the way backed up against their goal line, and Payne comes out, sack, tackle for loss, pass deflected. I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet. We have watched a lot of football in our lives. I'd be willing to bet we've never seen something like that. Just a
Yeah, it was
complete drive
hell of a
shutdown.
sequence.
And it just felt like he was getting his name called on every play. You hope he's good in terms of that little thigh injury. I think it was just kind of a bruise. They said they were just icing it up when he went down at the end of the game, and he hopped up and went right back in. So I think he's
Yeah.
probably okay. Just kind of caught a helmet to the leg or something like that on that quarterback sneak. And then finally, another guy that I'm really growing fond of, number 13, Manuel Forbes.
Yeah, we're
Got to give him
throwing
the
him a
helmet
little
sticker.
bit of a, because of that first interception. I thought they were going to call that back, the one-handed deal, but
Yeah.
he got his first interception, which was a big play, although Ron tried to turn it into a momentum killer.
We'll get to
What he
that.
was thinking on that, well, anyway. But
We'll get
I
to
think
that.
I think a couple of other Emmanuel Forbes, great. Cam Curl, another great game. He could have easily gotten a helmet sticker.
Yep.
It's great to see Chase Young out there. How great was it to see Chase Young and Montez Sweat meet at the quarterback? I'll meet you at the quarterback. And
Both
Chase
played
Young
great games.
was making a difference, right? He was putting pressure
Yeah.
on. Couple of mistakes, but we'll forgive him for that. Great to see him back out there as well.
Yeah. Quick
And
note
I
about
thought
Chase.
Jamin Davis is like we said, his forced fumble was the turning point in the game. I'm not sure we win if that play doesn't happen.
Yeah. That was a huge play. And quick note on Chase. He was supposed to be on a pretty strict pitch count today. We were told that he was only really going to play on third downs. It was just going to and that was not what you saw at all. So for
Started
everybody,
that way.
So it started that way.
1.5 sacks.
For
Pretty damn
everybody,
good.
very good. For everybody who had questions, and we all did. Let's call it what it is, right? But for everybody that had questions about how bad does he want to be out there, where's the competitiveness, where's the toughness, that kind of thing, after the offseason and the injuries and whatever, put him to bed. Chase Young is back.
Yep.
He's here.
Yep.
Let's
7
enjoy
sacks
it.
by that defense.
Payne
had 1, Sweat had 1.5, Chase had 1.5, Jamin Davis had 1. Casey Toole and James Smith-Williams had 1 each. I don't remember those.
But, but poor performance from the defense overall. But we're going to shout out
I stand by it.
We're just going to shout out the entire starting 11 on defense, other than Cody Barton, in terms of guys that we want to give helmet stickers to. But anyways, let's hit the kick outs of the game. And I think the number one, unless is that what you were had to pop? You had anything else,
Yeah.
or are you ready to kick
No.
out it up? Let's kick out it up. Number one has got to be that dirty, 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 dirty hit from Kareem Jackson on Logan Thomas.
Totally like unnecessary. Like
Disgusting.
there was no good reason for that. I was so happy that he got ejected from the game.
100%.
If you're going to take a guy out of the game, what justification is there for you to still be in there with an illegal hit?
100%.
NFL has to do that. I mean, it's like the red card in soccer. You've got to start ejecting these guys when that happens. And to me, he should be fined a game check.
I'd suspend him.
Game check.
I would suspend him.
Well, that maybe even better. But I mean, at a minimum, you got to just take his paycheck away for this week. There's just no reason for that. Logan Thomas, I feel so bad for him. He's just every time he starts to look like his old self. What a great catch to hang on to that ball after that hit.
Yes.
But going out with a concussion, which is not his first one. We saw him get one in Vegas a couple of years ago, and then he went down with his knee injury. I mean, it's just uncalled for. There's no place in the game for a hit like that. I was really happy that he got ejected and made a difference in the game.
100%. Yeah, you got to go after something like that. I mean, that was just a completely filthy hit. It's just some kind of coincidence that the guy that ran the whole Bounty Gate program that happens with, but we're just going to breeze past that. Filthy hit on Logan Thomas, classless, disgusting. I can go on. I mean, I thought we weren't going to see an uglier hit than the hit that Kaiser White laid on Sam Howell. I thought that was the bottom. That couldn't be worse than that this year. And this was just terrible. So,
well, in terms of the vulnerability of the player, right? I mean, it's just totally unprotected. It's a cowardly. For anyone that's going to go old school football on me, that's cowardly. It's a completely. It's like if I don't know, you have a bat and I don't, and we're gonna. Yep. Not that I condone any kind of violence or stuff, but I'm just saying it's cowardly. Right. It's cowardly. It's not.
He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. He just caught a touchdown pass on your bum-ass defense, and so you're going to react by trying to decapitate him and taking another man's life into your hands. It's irresponsible. It's cowardly. It's soft. It's weak, and that's why your team is 0-2.
And I'd say the same thing if he was our player. Yep.
That's why your team is 0-2. There's no place for that in the game.
Now, as horrendous as that was, Ron tried to get in here. He tried to get in here.
Ron said, "Hold my beer."
He decides that we got all the momentum in the game. Their defense makes a good stop. And he decides to try a 60-yard field goal attempt. Why? To be honest with you, that's the reason a Hail Mary almost tied this game. Was that stupidity of that call. We had all the momentum.
We gift wrapped them 3 points because I'm going to just update.
What if they put up 7 there? We're lucky our defense held them.
I don't know if Ron Rivera knows this, but when you miss a field goal, the opposing team takes over from where you missed the field goal. So they only had to gain 15, 20 yards to get into field goal range. They gained a lot more than that. We make a nice goal line stand. They have to kick 3. But you are essentially saying either we score 3 or they score 3 when you do something like that. You are gambling 3 points.
His team didn't quit today. I saw him getting pretty fired up on the sidelines. And I think after we scored the touchdown to get and the 2-point conversion, he was super fired up. He was pumping the guys up. That was great to see. I'm going to give him credit for the way his team played today. But his situational awareness and just understanding what's going on in the game in that moment. Maybe there's a scenario, I can't think of it at the moment, where it would have made sense to attempt that kick. But that was anything from that. Pin them back. Your defense is pretty much just shutting them down. Your momentum is still there. They can't do much. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want to spend a ton of time on that to kill the vibes, but if we had lost that game, I might have had to usurp Jackson's hit with that call. That was horrible. Please, Ron, do better. Do
What word
better,
was that? What
please.
word was that you just used?
Usurp?
Wow.
I think I used it correctly.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, don't even worry about
I
studying for
was
your
one of those
SAT.
that was one of those Will Ferrell moments in old school.
Usurp.
But anyway.
Oh my God, Pop blacked out there. That was incredible. That was incredible.
I hope I used it right.
So you gotta give the runner up Kekatsus to that moment, and then I think the other moment that made that moment even stupider was the muff snap by Cheeseman on the opening drive of the game. We try to settle for three, take points, and at least at that point you go, hey, we got 3 points. You know what? Good start. Way to start the game. We started with the possession. We got 3. That's brilliant. Nice job, boys. We did it. We like a touchdown, but we moved the ball okay. Things are happening. No. Instead, Cheeseman rolls the ball back there like he's trying to bowl between his legs for the 57th time this year. I would like to see a long snapper in practice on Tuesday. Just send a message. You don't even have to sign the guy. Bring him
How
in to compete.
how can you get somebody that's going to do worse?
Bring him in to compete. I just thought it was nuts. And then you had
I don't know.
mistake.
Maybe our social team likes him too much. They've got to have it on. I mean, Ron did trade up to get him. So
it's nuts. You have that mistake, and then you have to go for 2 because you feel bad about kicking an extra point. And the going for 2
all right,
worked
but
out. It was probably smart
we're
analytics.
devolving. I'm going to throw another fancy word at you. We're devolving a little bit here.
But what I'm saying is the next opportunity you have to decide between kicking it or not kicking it in a much lower percentage chance, you decide to kick it. The reason why it sounds like we're devolving is because there's absolutely no logic here. There's no logic. And unfortunately, consistent with what we've seen, slow starts and momentum killing illogical decision making by Ron Rivera. 2 things that hurt us at the beginning of the game, but another thing consistent to balance it out and give them credit. The teams fight, they don't quit, and we come back and we win games that it feels like we have no chance winning. So you know what? I said it the first week. I'll say it again. Win now, get good later. And I think there was a lot of.
Well, this was good.
There was a lot of.
There was a lot of good today, and you said it right. I mean, if you can erase getting down 21-3, which you can't, it's part of the game. You just come back and take over the game, which was amazing, and we were so much the better team. And 2-0, which is so big with Bills and the Eagles. You drop this game, and then you got the Bills and the Eagles next. That's tough. Now you can just pin your ears back, try to get one of those games, one of those 2 maybe with an upset. I like Bills at home. I think we got a shot. And what a performance by Sam Howell. To give your Uncle Nick credit. I want to do this earlier. Sorry it's so late in the pod. He said, I think we got a quarterback. And I always like his post-game phone calls. First words are, I think they're trying to kill me, which, I think we all felt.
Yeah.
But, also I think we got a quarterback. And I'm not going to go there quite yet, but that was an exciting performance by Sam Howell. Like I said, at this stage of his development, going on the road and playing like he played, it's hard to imagine him performing much better than that. And some of those throws in certain situations, some of those runs in certain situations were phenomenal. So
all in all,
great.
Can't complain there. I think we were gonna do a little fantasy survivor pool check-in, but why don't we hit that in the pregame pod next week?
Why are you avoiding the fantasy check-in? Why are you avoiding the fantasy check-in?
Any loyal Dom and Pop listeners should know it's absolutely no surprise that my team came out.
But they don't know who'd you play this week
against Pop in fantasy. If you weren't so busy, you would let me say it. Dad, this is his Super Bowl every year. I don't even get emotionally invested in it anymore. He kicks my ass every time we play in fantasy. It sucks. It is what it is. At the end of the year, I'll be top 2, top 3 in points for in our league every year. At the end of the year, I have one of the best teams, top 2, 3, 4 on points scored, and I score like 50 points against Dad.
But
Like
I
my
got a
guys don't even
squad,
give us a
son.
chance.
I got a squad this year.
I got a squad too. They just deuce the bet against you every year. Every year. I'm not overreacting.
Proof is in the pudding.
I'm not overreacting.
Proof is in the pudding.
It is what it is. This is, Pop is my Eli Manning. It just is what it is. I can't beat him. I can't get past him. I can't do it.
You don't want to talk a little survivor pool either?
Oh man, brain dead pick by me there. I scrambled on the survivor pool. I was in a session and I got a notification from ESPN that I hadn't picked it yet. And I just tried to do it real quick. I saw Chargers at Titans. I got too cute. I wanted to try and use teams that I didn't want to have to use later in the year. So I took the Chargers, not realizing that the Titans were at home. Brain dead play, and I got punished for it. It was bad, but you know what? Things turned around.
We're tied for first at the top of the division. You go around the league a little bit, crazy league. Giants were getting crushed by the Cardinals. They come back. They come back, which is unbelievable. I think they were down. I mean, I wasn't paying that close attention, but at least like 21 points. So they had a huge comeback as well. Yeah. Of course, Cowboys win, Eagles win. So 3-2-0 teams in the division, and the Giants being 1-1. So it's good to keep pace with them. Who knows what the rest of the season's going to bring? I really don't know.
Listen, who cares? Do your job. Win the games that are ahead of you. Beat the team that's in front of you. We heard a lot of talk last week, about how we wouldn't have beat anybody other than Arizona. Well, you know what? We wouldn't have beat anybody other than Denver this week. And you know why? Because we didn't play anybody other than Denver, and that's an incredibly stupid thing to say. This team is 2-0. Let's ride it out.
It's a heck of a performance.
Yeah. Let's wrap this thing up, Pop. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Left hand up. All right. Left hand up. 2-0 for the first time since 2011. Dan Snyder's gone. Sam Howell is undefeated as an NFL starter. Without further ado, I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks so much for watching and listening, guys.